as the total area of all of the non-overlapping strips it would take to cover that sphere. Okay, so these strips they're talking about are right here. So all of those strips that it would take to cover that sphere all the way around it. Okay, so if r is the radius of the sphere, then the area of a great circle of the sphere is pi r squared. So that great circle they're referring to is kind of like an equator. Okay, so like around the earth you have the equator through that middle part. Okay, that great circle would be right here. Okay, so that great circle is around the largest part there. And you also have the radius of that great circle. Okay, so the total surface area of the sphere is 4 times the area of a great circle. So that's how we get this formula for surface area of a sphere. It is 4 pi r squared. Okay, so we still have this pi r squared piece, which is area of a circle. We're just multiplying it by 4 to get that surface area. Okay, a sphere has one basic measurement, and that's the length of its radius. Okay, so what we need for a sphere is the radius. So if you know the length of the radius of a sphere, you can also calculate its volume. Okay, so the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so 4/3 pi r cubed. So in each of these formulas, all you need is r, or your radius. So in the 2 examples below here, we're going to find the surface area and the volume of each. Okay, so I'm just going to split this into a couple sections here so it's easier to look at. So for number 1, first thing I want to do is find the surface area. Okay, so again, to find the surface area, all you need is the radius of a sphere. So the radius of this sphere is 5 feet. So I can use that and the surface area formula for a sphere, which is 4 pi r squared. Okay, and I can plug in 5 for r. So we have 4 pi times 5 squared. Okay, so if I square 5, get 25 times 4 is 100 pi. Okay, you could leave it like that. That's exact form again. Or if you plug this into your calculator, you will get about 314.16 feet squared. And again, we're looking at the surface area, so your units are squared. That would be your surface area for your final answer there. Okay, so next for number 1, what we want to do is find the volume. Okay, so in this second section here, I'm going to find the volume of this sphere. So again, I need the radius, which is 5 feet. And then I can just use that volume formula. Okay, again, that formula, I'm going to write it as 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. Okay, so just like your pyramids and cones, this one is divided by 3. Okay, from here I can plug in 5 for r. So we have 4 pi times 5 cubed over 3. Okay, and it is 5 cubed. Do we know how to cube something in the calculator? So if you don't know how to cube something on the calculator, so we have 5. You're going to press this caret key or this arrow, and then 3. So you're raising it to the 3rd power. You can press enter, and then multiply by 4. My calculator is broken, so I can't multiply by 4. Okay, after you multiply by 4, multiply by pi. Okay, and then you can divide by 3. And again, this answer isn't multiplied by 4, so that's not right, because my calculator is not working. Okay, so after you do that, you should get 523.61 feet cubed. Did we all get that on the calculator? Okay, and this is a volume again, so your units are cubed. Okay, make sure you know the difference when you're labeling those units. Questions on the first one? Okay, the second one is a little bit more challenging. Okay, so again, in this first section here, I want to solve for the surface area. Okay, again, I still need the radius. So the radius is 6 inches. Now, this sphere is cut in half. Okay, so the sphere is cut in half. Now, when you're looking at surface area, that's the area around the entire thing, right? So the area that goes all the way around it. Now, if I cut this sphere in half, what would I do to change my formula? Divide it by 2. But now if I cut it in half, and you're thinking about surface area, all you have left is this bowl shape, right? And it has a hollowed out piece in the middle. But you need the surface area. So we need to add on that piece on top as well. Okay? Does that kind of make sense? No? So, again, thinking about like a ball, right? You need the entire surface area of that shape. If you cut it in half, it'd be hollowed out on top, right? But since it's surface area, you need everything on the surface of the shape that you have. So you need that extra piece on top, not that hollowed out portion. Okay, so we need to add on this extra circle on top of our half of a sphere for surface area. So the formula we're going to use then, we still have this surface area piece, which is 4 pi r squared. And we are going to divide it by 2 because we have half of that sphere. But then we're going to add on that top circle. Okay? So we're just adding on the area of that top circle, which is pi r squared. Okay, so again, this is half of your sphere. This is the added on top circle. Okay, so from here, what I can do is just plug in that radius then. Thank you. So we have 4 pi times 6 squared divided by 2 plus pi times 6 squared. Okay, make sure you are able to enter that into your calculator before I give you the decimal. So you should get this to be about 339.3 inches squared. Okay, so about that. So make sure you are able to enter that into your calculator correctly. Okay, questions on how I found the surface area of that half sphere? Okay, then next in this section here, I want to find the volume of that. Okay, now volume again is everything inside of a sphere. So we're going to take our volume formula, right? And then do what with it to find the volume of this half sphere? Divide it by 2. Okay, so since it's volume and volume is everything inside the object, we don't have to add anything on. We just need to divide that volume by 2. Okay, so unlike surface area, for volume, you just need to divide by 2. So here, we're just going to plug in 6 for r in our formula. So we have 4 pi times r, which is 6 cubed, divided by 3. So first I'm going to just find the volume of the entire sphere. Okay, so again, you're going to take 6, raise it to the 3rd power, multiply by 4, then multiply by pi, then divide it by 3. Okay, once you do that, you should get 904.78 inches cubed. And again, this is the volume of the whole sphere. Now after I find that volume, I can just divide it by 2 to find that half sphere, which is 452.39 inches cubed. Okay, and again, that would be the half sphere. Okay, questions on how I found the volume of number 2? All right, so then looking at the back here, okay? Looking at the back. A billiard ball set consists of 16 spheres. Okay, there are 16 spheres. Each 2 1/4 inches in diameter. Okay? If you need that in decimal form, it's 2.25. Okay, 2.25 inches in diameter. What is the total volume of a complete set of billiard balls? So for this problem, we need to find total volume. So to do that, what I'm going to do is find the volume of one ball. Okay? After I find the volume of one ball, to get the entire set, since there's 16, I'm just going to multiply that by 16. Okay, so since this is the diameter, we need the radius for our volume formula. Okay, so the radius of one ball will be half of 2.25, which is 1.125 inches. Okay, so now I want to find the volume of one ball. Okay, so we're going to use our volume formula, which is 4 pi r cubed, and we have r at 1.125 divided by 3. Okay, so this formula here will find us the volume of one of those balls in that set. Okay, so you should get the volume of one ball to be 5.97 inches cubed. Okay, so that's the volume of one ball. Now to get the entire set, there are 16 of them. So we're going to take that volume of 5.97 and multiply it by 16 to get the total volume, which will be 95.52 inches cubed. Okay, questions on how I thought about this problem? How I set it up and how I solved it? Alright, so the last problem here is a sphere inside a cube. Okay, a sphere inside a cube. The sphere fits snugly inside the cube so that the sphere touches the cube at one point on each side. So this sphere right here hits each side of that cube. Okay? The side length of the cube is 2 inches. Okay, so each of these side lengths are going to be 2 inches. So since this side length right here is 2 inches, if I went through the middle of the cube, through that sphere, that is also going to be 2 inches. So the diameter of the sphere has to be 2 inches. Okay? Meaning the radius of the sphere is 1 inch. Okay, so in the next 3 problems, you have to find surface area of different things. And then the last one, you have to find volume. So in letter A, you have to find the surface area of the cube. Okay? Surface area of a cube, again, is P times H plus 2B. That's the formula we were using before. Okay? That is the surface area of a cube. Surface area of a sphere. That one is 4 pi r squared. That's the one that's on the front of the note sheet. Okay? So what I want you guys to do is do letters A and B. Okay? So find the surface area of the cube and then find the surface area of the sphere. If you go on to letter C, that's fine.
How can you figure it out? There's 2 9s. How are you?
The same question.
Good. Let's go.
I don't know.
What's the again?
We'll go with that. Perimeter of the base.
And this
Area of the base. That's because in the directions, I know you can't read it, it says use 3.14 pi. So that's what we're on. Some of the answers are on the back for the front.
Oh, you know what I was doing? No, I was squaring everything.
Okay, starting to go through letters A and B here. Surface area of a cube. Finding P. P is the perimeter of the base of the cube. So adding up this base right here. So we have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 8. The height of the cube. So from one base to the other base. That's going to be 2 inches. Capital B is the area of the base. Okay, so the area of this base right here will be 2 times 2, which is 4 inches squared. So we can find the surface area by plugging in each of those variables. So we have 8 times 2 plus 2 times 4. Okay, so this surface area is 24 inches squared. Okay, so that's the surface area of that cube. Next, we need the surface area of the sphere. Okay, again, where the radius is 1 inch. Okay, so our surface area will be equal to 4 pi times 1 squared. Okay, which is 4 pi, or plugging that into your calculator, 12.57 inches squared. Okay, so those are your 2 surface areas. For letter C then, we want to find the volume of the space outside the sphere but inside the cube. Okay, so to find that volume, we need to take the volume of the cube. Okay, so find the volume of the cube, find the volume of the sphere, and then subtract. Okay, because we want the volume around the sphere, but still inside that cube. Okay, so taking volume of the cube, subtract volume of the sphere. So now to find volume of a cube, again, that formula is just B times H. Okay, and then volume of a sphere is 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. Now we already found B and H for the cube up in this surface area problem. Okay, so we have B at 4 and H at 2. Okay, so we have 4 times 2. Subtract 4 pi times our radius again is 1 cubed divided by 3. Okay, 4 times 2 is 8. Once I plug this into my calculator, I do get about 4.19. And then after I subtract, I'll get about 3.81 inches cubed is in that space. Okay, questions on letter C? All right, so on your assignment,